Hello everyone. Before we get started, make sure to like and subscribe, and leave a comment saying where you're from and when you watched. That way, YouTube will continue to show you stories like this. Now, let's get started. Chris stood before the village well, his heart filled with fear. The thick fog hung over the abandoned village like a curtain hiding a terrible secret. The whispers still echoed from the well, mixed with the howling wind, like the songs of trapped souls. The oil lamp in his hand was burning brightly, the blue flame flickering on his pale face, his eyes wide open as if mesmerized. He decided to go further. Chris entered the largest wooden house at the edge of the square. The door creaked and the smell of dampness was strong. On the wall were still spiral carvings identical to the symbols he had seen on the piece of wood that had washed ashore. In the middle of the room was a stone table, on which were scattered old objects, wooden bowls, burnt pieces of cloth, and a thick, dusty notebook. He turned the pages with trembling hands. The first pages recorded the peaceful days of the fishing village, but as the pages went on, the writing became more and more scribbled, as if written in panic. A passage that made him speechless. Tonight, we must sacrifice. The sea demands souls, otherwise the whole village will be swept away. The lamp will light their way, and their souls will never return. Chris closed the book, his hand trembling. He understood. This village once performed human sacrifice to appease the deep sea. The oil lamp was the vessel that led the souls to the bottom. It was not only cursed, but also created to bind the sacrificed ones. At that moment, footsteps sounded outside the porch. Chris held his breath. The green light from the oil lamp shone through the crack of the door, revealing the silhouettes of people passing by. The door swung open, and a strong wind blew in. Dozens of dark shadows poured into the room, surrounding him. They did not move, just stood still, their eyes empty. A tall, thin figure stepped forward, pointing towards the well dot. Chris felt as if an invisible force was pulling him away. He resisted, but his feet still walked towards the square. The sky was dark now. Thunder and lightning tore through the sky. Around the well, black shadows formed a circle. The sound of drums rang out from somewhere, a steady beat echoing in the mist. Chris stood in the middle. The oil lamp was shining brightly, the flame flaring up as if it had been given more power. A small figure stepped out from the circle. It was the shadow of a child, eyes unusually bright blue. It spoke in a clear but haunting voice. They sacrificed us. They used the lamp to imprison the soul. You kept it, you must return it. The voice echoed in Chris's head, causing him to ache. He shouted loudly, I don't belong to you. I'm not part of this ritual. But the circle of shadows tightened. The sound of drums grew louder. The lamp in his hand was hot. Blue light radiated, illuminating the distorted faces of the souls. They chanted in unison, return the light to the sea. Chris fell to his knees, cold sweat drenched. He knows the ritual is never over. Hundreds of years ago, the sacrificed souls were trapped in the lamp, and now they want him to be part of the cycle. But deep down, he senses there is another way, a way to break the ritual, free them and himself. He must find the clue before it is too late. The wind picks up, the mist swirls around the well like a vortex. The lamp shakes in Chris's hand, the light flickering green and red. He screams in despair, while the shadows continue the ritual, whispering throughout the village. At the end of episode 8, Chris witnesses the horrific sacrifice in the abandoned village. Stay tuned for the next episode, titled Episode 9, The Truth. At the bottom of the well, to find out what awaits him when he faces the final secret.